Hello students! The next thing that we are to talk about is how to develop informative speeches. In developing your informative speech, you need to know the following. First, use attention-getting elements. Before you capture the interest of an audience, you have to get their attention. Attention getters are used in the introduction but can also be used throughout the speech to maintain audience attention. Second is to tell a story. Storytelling is not only the basis for most of our entertainment, it is also one of the best ways to teach audience. Nursery rhymes and song lyrics, as well as jingles familiar to the audience, can also be used in an interactive way to get listeners interested in the topic or the speech. Third is to create coherence. In creating coherence, we have the following. Letter A, organize logically. In a logical speech, the points should flow naturally from start to finish. Letter B, use simple words. Clear speaking is not an alternative but rather an enabler of intelligent discourse. Part of using simple words is that you're less likely to trip over or mispronounce words. Avoid technical jargons, slang, cliches, and euphemisms. This type of language is difficult to understand and tends to be low impact. And letter C, avoid information overload. No one is given an unlimited amount of time to speak. You can't cover everything that there is to know about the topic. Memorable. In making your speech memorable, you have to, letter A, build in repetition. To incorporate repetition, first, restate your main points in your introduction, body, and conclusion. A word or a phrase is repeated in a poetic way, either throughout the speech or at a critical point in the speech, and use non-verbal communication. Number 5, use visuals. Visual aids can be a very powerful and efficient way to present facts that is difficult to convey verbally. Let's have now an example of an informative speech. This is an example of an informative speech. Smoking is regarded as a fashion symbol in young boys. This first statement is what we call as our attention getter. We continue the speech. Despite the ill effects of smoking, people still continue to smoke. Many young boys who start smoking feel that they look broad-minded and liberated if they smoke. This is the whole of the introduction of an informative speech. Next is the body of an informative speech. This is the whole of the body of our informative speech. Most often, the teenagers adopt this habit just because of the company they enjoy. Sometimes, they take a puff of their friend's cigar. Later on, they develop the habit of smoking as an indispensable part of their lives. With the passage of time, the followers of this bad habit turn into chain smokers. It must be kept in mind that smoking is a toxic habit that may develop lung cancer. Moreover, the other toxic chemicals like arsenic, carbon monoxide, methane, acetic acid, nicotine, butane, and cadmium present in cigarettes are also highly damaging for health. Currently, cigarette manufacturing companies are doing very well all over the globe. Such manufacturing companies also inscribe warnings on their packets of cigarettes, but still people do not pay heed. This is an example of the body of our informative speech. Lastly, this is our closing. An example of a closing of our informative speech is, the active smokers also harm other people around them, known as passive smokers. Here, it is significant on the part of the government to keep a ban on advertisements that allure people to smoke. Moreover, the family members and close friends of the smoker should also play their part to aware the smoker about the bad effects of this habit. Although it requires a strong will to stop smoking, but once you plan to give up, you can definitely do it. This is the closing of our informative speech. With the things we discussed, are you ready to write and present your speeches? Remember that giving informative speeches is part of our everyday life. Just enjoy learning and thank you for listening. This is Aj Lolita, your lecturer. Bye!